So we made 10 barbecue fish for a client, and this is a video to showing you the process bit by bit of how we were able to achieve 10 delicious catfish barbecue for our client. So let's get right into the video. You call me Quinola. Now for this 10 barbecue catfish, the first thing we did was to saute our onions. Now do not worry, all the list of ingredients I used for this video would actually be in the description box for you, okay? So when we sauteed our onions and we were sure that it had already released its own juice, we now added in our Scotch bonnet blend. So in here we have the red bell peppers, the Scotch bonnet, the ginger, the garlic, and the onions. Okay, so when we blended all that together, we added them, to the um pot where the oil and the onions were. Now if you are not a lover of onions, try as much as possible to just blend your onions instead, but this is actually an important part of for every barbecue catfish. Okay, so when we did that and we were sure that it had already dried up a bit and it was frying so well, remember to fry this on medium heat so that it will not you know just be burning. Okay, so when we added that, the next thing we did was to add in the green peppers. You can see we didn't fry the green peppers from the beginning, reason being that the green pepper is actually an important part for this frying and it has its own flavor at the aftermath. So after doing this, we seasoned with some bouillon powders, and then we also added in some salt. I think we added this off camera, apologies for that, but like I already said, the list will be put in there. Now you do not want this to be overly salty because you're still going to use some dry seasoning for the fish in itself, which I'm going to be showing you later in this video, so you can see the way they are already fried properly. So for those of us that was already scared from the beginning, thinking the oil was not enough, you can see that it was even more than enough. Now for this, the extra spice I used for this was just the Onga seasoning spice and also the Larsor fish seasoning. We are doing the barbecue fish seasoning, barbecue fish, so we just added in the Onga. I added two of the Larsor fish seasoning, I mean. Okay, so you can see I was stirring this from time to time to ensure that it doesn't burn, because this takes a whole lot of time. When that is ready, just put it aside and let it cool down for a while. The next thing we did here was to wash our catfish. Now when we washed our catfish, we just washed it slightly so that we can put in the incisions properly. You can actually put incisions on your catfish anyhow you want, but the major reason why we actually put incisions on catfish is because we want the ingredients to enter, all the seasoning to enter properly. Okay, so make sure they are well rinsed and then you create an incision in it, so it won't look like it's just the back that has the flavor while inside the nut. So when we were done, the next thing we did was to transfer everything into a bowl, and then we added in some hot water. Now this hot water shouldn't be overly hot so that you won't have all the skin falling off. Okay, so when you are done doing that, the next thing you want to do now is to spread them evenly on a table. Now if you notice, we actually placed a foil paper around it. If you do not have a foil paper, you can just use a paper bag or a nylon long enough to take in all the catfish. Okay, So when you are done doing this, the next thing you want to do now is to pat dry your catfish. The reason is because we are going to be using both a dry seasoning on it, and we are also going to be using the wet seasoning on it. So you just want to pat dry it properly so that when you are smoking it or when you put them on your grill stand, you do not want all those water to come out, and in the water has the flavor. So you want your flavors to, just be inside the fish. So the next thing we did was to start massaging them with the seasoning. Now this seasoning, here in Nigeria we have the Onga seasoning. So the brand I used was the Onga stew, the jollof and stew on. So the Onga stew was actually what I used. So that's the only thing. Then I also used the Larsor Fish seasoning. I'm just giving you all just to show you that it's very easy for you to, you can actually do it from the confinement of your home. That's why I'm giving you all these secrets recipe. Okay, so thank me in the comment section for doing that. So when you are done doing that, the next thing you want to add now is the wet seasoning that we did initially. That's the stew seasoning we used initially. We fried already. So once you add them, just add in your onion and add in your bell peppers. Now the bell peppers, I use the green bell pepper because of the flavor it gives and because we just want to make it simple, right? That's why I'm adding this. So this is me just showing you all how um after I finished, you know, marinating it, I now started rolling it properly inside the foil paper. So you can see how I'm doing it. You don't want it to be too heavy so that it's going to, cook on time. So you really do not want it to be too heavy. All right, so just look at the way I am doing it. Okay, just look at the way I'm doing it and you will do just fine. So this was what we did for all the 10 fish, and then we now decided to barbecue them on a charcoal grill stand. Now you do not want to use a lot of charcoal for this because once the charcoal gets hot, it begins to, circulate round. Now your cook time also depends on how hot your charcoal is. If your charcoal is too hot, then your cook time will actually be lesser than when your charcoal has the normal temperature. So for each side, we barbecued the fish for 25 minutes and then we used the remaining 5 minutes to, just be sure. How to know your fish is ready is when your fish gets soft, because the hot water in itself is supposed to, harden the fish. And we have come to the end of the video. This was how we packaged it and they really loved it with their double fries. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.